welcome back to an episode of the 3 Count. I'm the greatest second place champion in 3 Count history, War Machine MJ, and I'm here today to talk about 205 Live, the return of it, and of course, first round of the WWE draft with Smackdown Live. Yeah, let me go ahead and start with 205 Live after rumors of its demise were up in the air. It came back this past Friday to a thunderous ovation, I guess. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody clamoring over it. Anyway, we kicked off 205 Live this week with Drew Gulak and Tony Nese going up against Team 1-2. I am, of course, referring to Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Oney Lorcan, as I mentioned several times on this channel, greatest Twitter follower if you're ever on Twitter. He is top marks. This match was pretty much Nese and Gulak could not get out of the blocks as far as being a tag team, while Lorcan and Burch were just firing on all cylinders as a tandem. The end came when Oney Lorcan put out the former cruiserweight champion in Drew Gulak with an Impact DDT, and basically 2 weeks in a row, well, 2 episodes of 205 Live in a row, Tony Nese and Drew Gulak have been the victims of both Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan's victory. So, who knows how this will play out. Anyway, we move on to next. Arya Daivari just getting his steam back against some local jobber. Of course, he wins. And we capped off 205 Live with an old favorite that we visited previously before on 205 Live, as we had a no disqualification match between the Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa. Going back a couple weeks ago when Brian Kendrick finally got a one-on-one match against Gentleman Jack Gallagher. During the match, Gallagher got inadvertently pushed into Tozawa by Kendrick, and Kendrick took his rage out on both Tozawa and Gallagher. So now he has set his sights on his former friend once again, and they just proceeded to beat the literal shit out of each other. The finish came when Tozawa was about to hit Brian Kendrick with another senton while he was buried under chairs, when out of nowhere Mike Kanellis shoved off Akira Tozawa from the top rope, beat him down with a kendo stick, and while Tozawa was down, Kanellis draped Brian Kendrick over Tozawa for the victory, seemingly sowing the seeds of some sort of alliance between the man with the plan and the emasculated man. So yeah, that was the return of 205 Live. And next we move on to SmackDown on Fox, aka first round of the draft pick, where we start the show off with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. The winner of the match guarantees the first pick for their respective side. Of course, Seth Rollins representing Raw as the Universal Champion, and Big Dog Roman Reigns representing SmackDown. And honestly, I counted my chickens way before they hatched, because Michael Cole capped it off with Big Dog. Anyway, this was a pretty good match, despite me not caring about Seth Rollins matches. They even busted out that old spot where Roman Reigns charges straight into a pedigree. It was fantastic. Sorry. However, the match would be abruptly cut while Seth Rollins was revving up his engines for the stomp, as the Fiend literally dragged Seth Rollins to hell. Yeah, the nice little hole in the ring. He dragged Seth down. You know, smoke came out, and Seth wiggled his way like a worm, like an inchworm made out of bitch. I've been wanting to put that in there ever since I thought about the line. Anyway, and then you just see this nice little shot of Bray Wyatt's head just kind of poke out of the hole. I'm sorry, the Fiend's head just poke out of the hole. Lights go down, and they do the spooky spotlight and screechy noise effect, and there's the Fiend standing on the ramp. You know, kind of doing that half profile looking shot. So basically, his war with Seth Rollins is far from over. And yeah, because Seth Rollins won by disqualification, that secured Monday Night Raw's first pick of the night. And we had the first round, first set of picks right after that match, where Monday Night Raw picked up Becky Lynch, the OC, all three members, and of course Drew McIntyre. While SmackDown picked up Big Dog Roman Reigns, and of course The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Now I guess I should go over the tag team rule that they had, where both sides can choose a tag team unless they want one specific member. So yeah. But it's weird that they picked that SmackDown picked Bray Wyatt, given that they said they were going to make SmackDown more sportsy than Monday Night Raw's sports entertainment. But whatever, Bray Wyatt's a big pick. You'd think he'd be going to SmackDown. Anyway, next, Rod probably hated this, is we had King Corbin taking on Shorty Gable. Yes, the aforementioned Chad Gable, who was dubbed Shorty Gable at Hell in a Cell. Yeah, they had their rematch of a rematch of a rematch, where this time King Corbin got the win. He powered through Gable's ankle lock, which is textbook, and then connected with End of Days, putting away the short man. And then we had round 2 of the draft, where Monday Night Raw picked up Randy Orton, Ricochet, and of course Booty Lashley, while SmackDown picked up The Boss, Sasha Banks, and Braun Strowman. And once again, counted my chickens before the hatch, because we had Michael Cole ring out "Boss Time." I'm real tired of that catchphrase machine. Anyway, next up we had of course, another a riveting Paul Heyman promo talking about Brock Lesnar, yada yada yada. Then Rey Mysterio hits, and of course it's him with his best friend, his familia, Cain Velasquez. They of course showed they showed pictures from when Cain Velasquez defeated Brock Lesnar. Apparently, just dominated him. You know, I'm not a big UFC junkie, but the way they described it, seems that Brock Lesnar couldn't even, touch Cain Velasquez, who apparently he's a stamina-based guy. Wouldn't know that. Anyway, yeah, they basically just went ahead and put in some promo filler for Crown Jewel, where Cain Velasquez will take on Brock Lesnar for the WWE title in Saudi Arabia. They also announced, because they had a press conference earlier that day, they also announced that Braun Strowman would go fist to fist with the current World Heavyweight Boxing Champion, the Gypsy King Tyson Fury. Honestly, I would have loved to watch Tyson Fury Braun Strowman, because if you've seen any of Tyson Fury's stuff, he is an absolute character. Even even some of the silly attires he dons go into the ring. But it's Crown Jewel. I just do not care. Besides that, it's going to be coming on when I'm going to sleep, because I work nights. Anyway, we had the New Day out there basically doing PR for WWE's partnership with Susan G. Komen yet again. And then it launched them straight into a 6-on-6 match against, well, I'm sorry, 3-on-3 match against the OC, Gallows, Anderson, and Styles. The finish came when Kofi Kingston polished off the phenomenal United States Champion with a Trouble in Paradise for the win. And then began round 3 of the draft. Round 3, Monday Night Raw picked up Alexa Bliss, Kevin Owens, and Natalya, while SmackDown picked up Lacey Evans and the current SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Who the hell saw that coming? The Revival. Say yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of these champions that they picked up didn't really seem like it was it seemed like it was a no-brainer kind of situation. Because, I mean, of course, you're going to have the Raw Women's Champion on Raw. You're going to have the SmackDown Tag Team Champions on SmackDown. Anyway, when did they... Okay, I guess... Yeah, alright, I'm reading off the results page. Apparently they skipped round 3 of the draft in their description for everything. But before we got to the main event, we got round 4 of the draft, as we saw Monday Night Raw pick up the Viking Raiders, Nikki Cross, and of course they want the smoke with the Street Profits. While we saw SmackDown pick up the Lucha House Party and Heavy Machinery. Really good picks, I guess. And we finally move on to our main event. So we had a rematch from Hell in a Cell for the SmackDown Women's Champion, as Miss 10-time SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte defended against Bayley. Now, I want to go ahead and focus on the huggable one, or rather lack thereof, because Bayley came out. She did her usual canter, even introduced the wacky waving inflatable Bayley buddies, and then she stops. Of course, she's wearing a hood. She stops. Her music stops. She takes off her hood and her ring jacket, and she's got shorter hair. Yeah, she doesn't have her sideways ponytail. She's just got, very short cut. Then she pulls out a hunk of 2x4 with 2 blades taped at the very top. And then she murders her Bayley buddies. She just absolutely goes mental with it and just starts slicing them open. So yeah, she has gone full absolute heel. As she came in and brought the fight to Charlotte. And this match was was quick, fast, and in a hurry. But the finish came when Charlotte hit natural selection. Of course, Bayley got two fistfuls of Charlotte's hair, rolled her up, and she is now a two-time, no, three-time SmackDown champion. Yeah, she is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And of course, to further cement her heel turn, they even gave her new music after the match. There wasn't long enough for me to make a judgment call about how I feel, but I'm on board for Bayley going heel. We saw what that did to Becky. You know, the perpetual babyface finally goes heel, and it's dividends. But yeah, that was SmackDown, and of course, I'm recording this on Monday, so we're mere hours from night 2 of the draft. But over the weekend, and I'm glad I waited to this, over the weekend there was an additional draft. So let's look at this. So alright. It was mostly yeah, it's mostly 5 SmackDown picks, 3 Raw picks. So let's go over with the Raw picks. Not that impressive. Monday Night Raw, of course, picked up Sin Cara, Eric Young, and of course some jobber named EC3. While SmackDown didn't really pick up some notable names, with the exception of 2. Well, one interesting name and one, yeah, they kind of need him name. SmackDown, of course, picked up B Team, no, no, no. Former 24/7 champion Tamina, Heath Slater, Apollo Crews, which they could use him, and the very interesting name on this entire list, former Cruiserweight champion Drew Gulak. This is great. Love Drew Gulak's work. He is just a masterclass in the ring. Fantastic all around. Glad main roster picked him up. Well, main roster as opposed to 205 Live. Because, yeah, if you're still not on board with Drew Gulak, go back to NXT. Watch his matches against Matt Riddle and Kushida. They were absolute killer. But yeah, that does it for round 1 of the draft. Bayley's heel turn. Hugs no more. So, that's the SmackDown edition of 3 Count. You know what time it is. If you miss Rod's opinions but hate his ugly face, he has a podcast, Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime, on the CastBox app. Go check it out. He's probably talking about the draft. He's probably talking about the Cowboys' embarrassing loss to the Jets. He's talking about all sorts of things. Go check him out. I would say good things about his podcast, but I don't listen to his podcast. Actual testimonial. Anyway, that being said, of course, like, share, subscribe. Yeah, just subscribe, especially if you like hearing the sound of my voice, but don't necessarily care for my face. Anyway, I'm the greatest second place champion in 3 Count history, United States of War Machine MJ. I'm the face of the 3 Count Mafia, and I will see you guys next time.